When you writing a book, Dave?
I'm writing. I also have a book. I have a book called Culture Vultures. Yeah,
What's it called?
It's called Culture Vultures. Have you ever looked at the hip hop motivations that I do?
Yeah, absolutely.
So me and Kenyatta did a book, and it's already written. He wrote it. We done with it, and I'm also giving it out in different ways. So it's gonna be an auditory experience as well.
It's a series. The Fashion Game. Culture Vultures, the book. In business, Damon's a guy that's worn many hats.
Somebody just hit me with an email asking about the fact that they have two different businesses. They have an entertainment business as well as a fashion line they're trying to get off the ground, but they don't have a lot of connects. What do you think the best approach for them to do is as far as getting to the next level?
Well, number one in fashion is the hardest game of all the games. There's so many moving parts and you have to be putting up so much money.
Absolutely.
I always say that.
Right.
And then also you have to be a brand. You got to build a brand, so that takes time. So what I suggest they do is really understand that fashion game. And fashion, don't ever say you got a fashion line if you're just printing on t-shirts.
It's not fashion. It's not
That's
fashion.
Merch.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like fashion is when you do cut and sew and you make your bodies and you do all this and that. That's fashion. You know what I'm saying? But like if you just
the mannequin game is up and you got stuff hanging on the mannequins, right?
Yeah, I didn't get that. But if you got blank t-shirts and you're just printing something on a heat press or whatever it is, that's not real fashion. That's merch. Fashion is when you do fittings and you do cut and sew and you make samples and then you that's fashion.
Right.
But that's cash intensive and you got to have a big pocket. It takes you got to lose money in fashion before you make it. It just is what it is because you got to build a brand, and you can't come out thinking that you're successful if everybody's wearing it. Because if everyone's wearing your brand and it's the same, something that's recognizable, then nobody's going to want to wear it. It becomes a fad.
Absolutely.
So quick money in fashion is definitely not the best money.
Yeah.
And the more demand you have, the more goods you have to buy.
Yeah.
So you end up broke. So if you got a $2 million worth of orders and you only got $500,000 in your pocket, how you going to facilitate that order? Plus you got to be out of pocket for months.
Right.
As far as entertainment, I have to understand the nature of the entertainment and what that means.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, it's always about building a brand, being consistent, and delivering, and continue to deliver, and continue, and you can't stop. You see the people that are rolling today, that are out in front of the cameras today, they never stop.
Absolutely.
They never stop putting out records, they never stop making movies. Kevin Hart's never gonna fucking stop. I wonder who taught him that. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Kanye and Beyonce, they're never gonna stop. You understand what I'm saying? They're gonna keep making records. But they built the brand. It's been 20 years.
Right.
So you do something for 20 years straight. You got to be patient, but you reap all the benefits of it. The first 10 years are gonna be rough, but it goes quick because you enjoy it.
But from a street level, the t-shirt thing, printing on t-shirts and this
that's
stuff.
not fashion.
No, I'm not saying it's fashion. Let me say this, but if doing that, I say that, the question is, what you want to do is build up your brand and momentum and you're building up revenue
But a
to
brand
put into things that you want to do.
But you have to be able to define what your brand means. You have to have a point of view.
Right.
You can't just say, I want to be in fashion to make money. There got to be something behind the fashion. That's why when you wear somebody's brand, if you don't understand what they represent, you don't need to be wearing that brand. Because a person that does fashion, it's about their point of view, the things they believe in. It just reflects into the product.
Right.
It's just like buying a record. You buy a record, it's not really because of the hook or because of, it's because you kind of know the person. You like what he's saying. You know where he's coming from.
Right.
They're built as a brand.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
So basically, the t-shirt thing is still great money, of course, if you're doing it.
Well, it's good to get in the game to flip, but I just said, all I was saying is don't call that fashion.
Absolutely.
Just know what it is. That's merch.
Right.
And even when we were doing Vampire Life, it was like, it was important that we started to do. I was like, if we don't do cut and sew, this business is gonna be over like that.
Wow.
You got to do cut and sew.
Wow.
And it was always important, and not too many people understood what I was saying. But it was like, you can't just wear a t-shirt every day for 2 years because then everyone's going to start wearing it. You're not going to have any credibility. You got to show that you have some skills, that there's some real fashion behind it. You got to make your own blanks, and let other people print on your blanks.
Right.
This whole week, Raquel and I and Linnell, who used to work with me at Rockwear, we've been working on really, I made a decision, before, to be in the fashion business, it's a 24-hour thing. It's cash intensive. It's hard to do anything but that when you're doing it.
Right.
And it's going to break your back. It just has to, because you're on a calendar. You have to do things to develop product, manufacture product by a certain time, or else you lose money. And if you're manufacturing, which most people are overseas, if any glitch happens, like God forbid you gotta fly it in instead of putting it on a boat, that shit kills everything. It costs so much more to fly shit in, and on a boat takes 2-3 months. So you gotta get it on the boat on time, 3 months ahead of time for it to come, when it's supposed to. You know what I'm saying? So we've been I was like, you know what? I don't want to do the fashion business right now. I want to focus on my movies. But we've been building the brand. We've been making our samples. Like if you see our sweatsuits there, we make some dresses there, but we have a full collection. So now it's time for us to get on a calendar and understand the cost of sampling, the cost of production, how much we're going to sell at full price, how much we're going to give away, what our margin is going to be, how much we're going to have to put into the next delivery, when we have to pay for things. All of those things have
made in America.
I want all my shit is going to be made in America, for sure. And
you just had too many bad experiences being overseas.
It's not that, it's that, but also it's better quality, it costs more, but then that's, reflects in the price. But it's so much easier to work on a sample when it's right there. Like, you got to get it, like, think about making a sample. So they'll make it, and then they'll send it to you. That takes a couple of weeks. And then you're talking to someone that don't speak English at all. And then you make your corrections, you gotta do your fittings, and then you gotta send it back. That takes a couple of weeks. Then they gotta fix it, send it back. That takes a couple of weeks. A lot of companies don't even make samples no more. The ones that do
communication gap here, and you're not being able to communicate with the person.
It's the worst. It's like the problems I was having with the liquor. It's on its way. It should be here this week.
Right.
But it was so hard to get it over, because to understand what was going on, number one, they was fucking lying to me over there. Like, they were saying it was on its way, and it wasn't. We paid for it, to our distillery. But there were some issues that they had that we had to find out. We had to do some real research to find out.
Their own personal issues.
It's just, whatever it was, when you doing business across a fucking ocean in another continent, it's hard for people to give you the respect that you, and then you get on a plane, it's not like you get on a plane with your boys and run up in there. You understand what I'm saying? I'm gonna walk into another man's country and be beefing with him about my bread. It's hard, it's not easy. So eventually, I'm gonna be making the whiskey in America as well. We've been looking into what's it called, Rocky, when it's made in Kentucky, or a bourbon. We might make a bourbon as well. But my point to the whole thing is fashion or whatever. Doing business overseas is not easy.
I remember you told me you had a little back and forth with somebody in China. Was it in China or Japan? Like somewhere you got some clothing?
So many places, every place. Because the thing about businesses is never goes as planned.
Absolutely.
Never.
Absolutely.
And being a boss means untying knots.
Right.
But you got to embrace those knots. Business means work harder when there's problems. And being a boss means fixing problems for other people. People are looking to you to be calm or not calm, but to fix things. But you have to embrace what your position is if you really want to be in business.
Right, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I was going to share too. I went and did an open mic this
What
this
you
week.
did? You did like poetry?
Nah, I went up and
You
did
did spoken
my chapters.
What?
From audiobook. Yeah,
Huh?
I performed.
You did an open mic?
I went and performed.
Did you tape it?
Yeah, I taped it.
Where's it at? We don't get it.
No, it was a spur of the moment type of thing. It wasn't like one of them.
Did you have your shades on?
It was at the.
Did you wear shades?
Did I have shades on?
Why you have
I
shades
didn't. No, I'm trying to think. Did I have? No, I didn't.
It was just dark in the room?
Nah, it was just like, it was.
I know how you like to wear your
stage.
sunglasses at night.
Nah, it was a stage, the lights and stuff.
People
it was my
was
first time, yeah.
Were people like snapping
Over
when you
50
talk?
people. Nah, it wasn't a poetry thing. It was like a open mic. It was at the Hollywood Celebrity Center.
In Hollywood?
Yeah.
Did you
my boy was like, yo, I'm about to go perform, go to this open mic and perform and stuff.
How did you start? What did you like?
And I just went up to introduce myself, and I did.
Like, hi, I'm Kenyatta.
I did Thinking of a Master Plan. I did Time for Some Action.
So how did you do it?
I just went there.
What did you introduce yourself?
I just memorized a lot of what I said because I wrote it. So I just went up there and I just said.
Did you say it like a rapper?
Hip hop motivation.
Was there music behind you when you were?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I gotta see that. Where is it at?
Yeah.
I got to see that.
Yeah.
So
I'll send that to you.
Did you sign autographs when you got out?
I had a lot of people that were really wanting to see these and really
You got off giving panels like
yeah. Nah, people they were really feeling.
How'd you feel? As an artist on stage.
Now, honestly, like over the years, you told me about performance and what you have to do to really get out there.
How did you feel?
That was the best feeling I probably ever felt.
So you love that feeling?
Besides being a father.
So you love that feeling?
Love it.
You can understand the obsession people have with it.
I loved it. I love, just like when we
Being where everybody
screening the movie. It's like those films
where everyone's just appreciating your art. You're the center.
Yeah, but it wasn't.
Are you about to cry?
I didn't. Oh no.
Your eyes.
It was more. It was more.
But don't cry.
Oh, no,
don't do that. All right.
You said don't cry.
He gets sensitive.
Nah, but it was definitely like after that night. I felt like that. I felt like crying that night because it was exhilarating. Absolutely.
Exhilarating.
Yeah,
I like the way you said that part.
Yeah.
You know what? Back to Biggie, real quick. Also, Cameron was signed to Biggie.
Yeah, that's what Cam told me.
Yeah,
he told me that.
Initially, he was with Biggie.
He was with Undies, right?
Yeah. Yeah, he was with Biggie. Yeah. So okay. So do you have any questions? Or you don't do questions?
Nah.
Now that you do shows.
Nah, I'm saying I did the show.
No, I did the show. You got a napkin for him?
I did the show. I did the show.
Eyes are all watery.
I did the show.
I think you're about to cry.
Oh
It's funny that I zoomed in. I can zoom in.
Nah. Ain't no problem. I've already.
You don't smoke weed. Why your eyes all red and watery like
I just
that?
did that emotion already. I did that with the night I did it. I actually performed. It was crazy, man. That's the best feeling in the world.
You didn't tell me about it. Are you
That's the best feeling in the world, man.
It brought
To actually showcase your work.
It brought you to tears?
After the fact, not
So you did cry?
like when I didn't cry.
You just said
I felt emotional about it.
How you know what? You was wiping your
I
eyes?
wasn't crying like that. It was like
You crying like when you listen to, because when you listen to Culture Vultures, the first chapters, you was crying.
Yeah.
I got that on tape.
No, but you know why though? I explained why. It was
So you're gonna cry.
anytime you create something and you see it come to life, because I have a lot of different products on the table right now, but I've actually took the time to write it and put it together and to come to the core.
Your lip is quivering.
No, to come to
You're
the
about
core
to cry.
and stuff. No.
I think you're gonna cry.
Don't believe that.
Are you crying under your neck?
No, I ain't crying.
Tears
But I'm
coming
saying,
right here.
but I'm saying, that's the best feeling in the world when you get up and you actually go after what it is you're trying to do. And you still perform.
And it's something
best feeling.
and it's empowering and it's teaching people, so that's dope. I gotta see the tape.
Yeah, it was great, man.
So do you have any questions now? I know that you're a superstar and that you
Superstar. But this was another one. So the other day, because we talk about everything. My daughter, she was like, why is Dan talk to you like that, Daddy? I was like, talk to you like what? She said she was feeling like it was like the way you would talk to me on this last video was kind of funny. I was like, nah, that's my, that's my fault. So I went back and watched it. I was like, I can see where she's coming from. She felt like it was rough or it was kind of crazy. And I was like, well.
What part?
When we was talking about the news, the one where we was talking
about TMZ?
Yeah, and so she was like, she asked about it, and
she might look at, because y'all be all looking at TMZ in the house.
Yeah, but nah. But she asked me about it, but she was like, well, I'm like, well, I was like, so I went and looked at it because it's my daughter. And I was like, well, I could see, where she's coming from or whatever. But, I mean, my thing
that's
was,
your daughter, though.
Yeah, well,
Let me just say this in front of anybody. If anybody feels the way, that's, good. If he watches TMZ for news, that's cool. But no.
Hey, never watch TMZ. Nah. Yeah. But nah.
You should know you snap. You're a funny guy, so she should know that you're funny. So we snap.
You got to see the footage when we went to North Carolina too. That's where's that at?
Oh God, she's not gonna like that.
Where's that at?
I mean, it's in the hard drive, but it's hilarious.
That's hilarious.
Yo, this is Kenyatta with Hip Hop Motivation. First of all, I want to tell everybody out there, thank you for liking, commenting, and subscribing to our YouTube page. And if you haven't liked, commented, or subscribed to our YouTube page, make sure you do so. Stay in tune. We have a lot more to come. Peace. Deciding from thoughts of being sick and tired of something, starting something, or admiring something can be the emotions that fuel change. Because write this down. Emotion leads to passion, passion leads to action, and action leads to results. Word up. Question: what's the number one killer of dreams? If you said fear, you're wrong. Fear is on the list, but it's not the number one killer. The number one killer of dreams is comfort. The comfort of a good paying job or in an active relationship can seduce us for many years into the rhythm of accepting things without making any moves to change, further numbing us into a state of zombie-like passiveness. Write this down. Passiveness will cause your dreams to pass you by.
Dash thing. Nah, I don't want to chill out, bro. wealth. Then that becomes personal health. Think I'm rhyming. How about that?
Everything go down here. Just gotta, know what I mean, be a little smart.
I see you grooving right now.
I was in my groove.
I started daydreaming. I started thinking about something.
I'm a musician.
Yeah, exactly.
I like to spend all kinds of money. Like the dollar, like the euro, like the pound, like the franc pause, like the yen.